Traditional techniques. These are the techniques which were commonly used by various companies. Although in present improvement, these have become outdated, but still many companies are using this. A. Personal observation. This is the most traditional and most popular method of control. Under this, manager observes the subordinates while they are performing jobs. They generally note down their observation. With the help of this observation, they can easily analyze the performance of employees. By comparing the performance chart of current years with the previous years, the manager can know the progress of their performance. B. Statistical report. Various concepts of stats such as graphical presentation, correlation, average, percentage, ratio are very useful in analyzing the performance of employees. By converting performance report into statistical chart or table, you can easily point out the progress or deviation of performance. C. Break-even analysis. Break-even analysis is a useful technique to study relationship between cost and profit. Break-even point is a point of not profit nor loss. When sales reach break-even point, it's referred to sales amount at which company is net earning profit not including loss. With the help of break-even analysis technique, manager can estimate profit at level of cost and revenue.
Budget control. Budget is a statement of expected result and expected costs expressed in numeric terms. Budget helps us to know the future result and to achieve that result how much we will have to spend. There are different types of budget which can be prepared by an organization such as number 1 is sales budget, expected sales in terms of quality as well as volume. Number 2, production budget, expected production in the budget period. Number 3 is material budget, expected quantity and cost of material required for production. Number 4 is cash budget, expected inflow and outflow of cash for the budget period. Number 5 is capital budget, estimate spending on fixed asset. Number 6 is research and development budget, expected spending on research and development work. Points at which budget focus upon are as follows. Number 1 is budget focus upon standard and objective of the firm. Number 2 is budget has subordinates to compare their performance with budgetary standard and can do self-appraisal. Number 3 is through budgeting, manager can allocate resources to department according to their budgetary allocation. Number 4 is it helps to use the principle of management by giving more attention to department where actual operating and target deviate from budgeting standard. Advantages of budgetary control. The following are the main advantages of budgeting control. Number 1 is help in coordination. It helps in establishing coordination and interdependence among various departments. For example, purchase budget cannot be prepared without knowing quantity of material required, and the information comes in from production budget. Later, in turn, is based on sales budget. Number 2, optimum utilization of resources. Budgeting ensures fuller utilization of resources by allocating the resources according to the needs of various departments. Number 3, motivating employees. Budgeting helps in motivating the employees to perform better as they know the standard against which their performance will be judged. Number 4 is help in attaining target. Budgeting ensures attainment of organization goals by focusing on specific and time-bound targets. Number 5, facilitated management by expansion. By stressing on the operation which deviate from budget standard, it facilitates management by expansion in the organization.
Limitation of budgetary control. Some of the defects of budgetary control are as follows. The first one is rigidity. Budgets are often too rigid and restrictive, and supervisors are given little freedom in managing their resources. The budget may be either be changed too often or not at all, making it difficult for employees to meet performance level expected of them. The second one is lack of actions. Only preparing budgets cannot lead to success unless and until these are not put into actions. There is a need to translate these budgets figures into results. The third one is time consuming. Preparing different kind of budgets is not an easy thing, and as it involves a lot of time, money, and effort. The fourth one is estimate. Generally, budgets are prepared on the basis on the price level prevailing at a particular time period, but these estimates may become useless during subsequent inflation or depression in the market. The next one is I'm gonna explain about modern technique. These are the techniques which are generally preferred by the large-scale businesses in this modern area, as these are common control techniques such as return on investment, ratio analysis, responsibility accounting, management audit, and PERT and CPM, and management information system. So I'm gonna start with return on investment. Return on investment is also known as return on capital employed. This essence of this approach is that profit is not taken as an absolute figure, but it is considered in relation capital invested. With this method, we can compare the earnings of one company with other even when they have invested different capital, because it determines the ratio of earning and not the absolute earning. And the second one is ratio analysis. It refers to evaluation and analysis of financial statements by calculating some important ratios. The common ratio which help to draw important conclusions from the financial statements are liquidity ratios, solvency ratios, profitability ratios, and turnover ratios. So liquidity ratios help us to measure the ability of businessmen to pay the amount due to various stakeholders. This also helps to know the short-term solvency of firms. Common ratio which are calculated are current ratio and quick ratio. Solvency ratio is calculated to find out the long-term solvency ratios. Solvency of firms, it helps to find the ability of firm to pay back its debts. The common ratio which are calculated are debt equity ratios and proprietary ratio. Profitability ratio is calculated to find out the profitability positions of the firm. These ratios measures the relationships between profit and sales. The common ratio used by the companies to measure the profitability are gross profit ratios and net profit ratios. And the last one is turnover ratio. These ratios are calculated to determine the efficient utilizations of resources. Higher turnover indicate efficient utilizations, whereas lower turnover means inefficient utilizations of resource. The common turnover ratios are stock turnover ratios and debtor turnover ratio.
C. Responsibility accounting. This technique of controlling organization is divided into various responsibility centers, and head of each center are generally various sections of an organization, and the head of the department is considered as responsibility head. For the overall growth and achievement of department or center, there are 4 various types of center. The first one is cost center. Cost center, that usually known as expense centers, refers to a department of an organization whose manager is held responsible for the costs incurred in the center but not for the revenues. For example, is production department. The second one is revenue center. Revenue center refers to a department which is responsible for generating revenues. Example, marketing department. Third is profit center. Profit center refers to a department whose manager is responsible for both costs and revenues. For example, repair and maintenance department. The last one is investment center. Investment center is responsible for profit as well as investment made in the form of assets. The management audit. This control technique helps to measure the efficiency level of managers. Financial audit has been used by organizations for a long time, but the management audit is a new concept. A. Network technique, PERT and CPM. Program evaluation and review technique, or PERT, provide managers with the information they need in planning and controlling schedule and cost in development projects. Under critical path method, or CPM, the project is analyzed into different operations. Their relationships are determined and shown on the network diagrams. F. Management information system. This technique provides information and support for effective managerial decision making. Right decision can be taken at the right time only when manager receive accurate and timely information.
5. Conclusion. After learning the traditional and modern technique of the managerial control, we have conclusion that small-scale business hosts generally follow the traditional technique of controlling, while on the other hand, large-scale business mostly prefer modern technique using the various ratio